What's going on, fam? Welcome back to finally episode 10 of Purgatory Club podcast. I hope everybody's having a great week. I hope we're all getting out there. We're drinking our water, we're touching our grass, we're making some good in the world. At the very least, I hope we're making somebody else's day. Even if it's just a simple compliment, like, hey, you look nice. Like, we gotta we gotta be more nice to people, right? You gotta spread a little positivity every once in a while, because you never know what people are going through. You know what I mean? People are going through some shit, but it's all good. Yeah. I hope everybody's getting through the week. We're all feeling good. We're all doing good. I filmed this episode the other day with a buddy of mine, and somehow, some way, the file got corrupted. So it's all good. We're just gonna refilm this one. This episode 10 will end up just being. I've been doing a bit of research on UAP and NHI and all that fun stuff that has to do with like consciousness and things like that. So I think that's what we're gonna do for episode 10, and him and I will end up filming that episode. It'll probably be episode 11 or 12 here in the next couple days. But there's exciting stuff happening, you know what I mean? We have a few authors we're gonna film with, a couple more paranormal investigators. So yeah, it should be these next couple weeks should be pretty fun when it comes to filming and getting stuff out there for the podcast. Like, it's crazy. There's a statistic out there that says like 90% of podcasts out there don't get past like 3 episodes. And I'm like, what the fuck? So it just blows my mind that we're already on episode 10. It feels like just yesterday we started this thing, but and I know that's completely on me. I know I could be a lot more consistent and a lot more, you know what I mean? Like we could definitely drop more episodes, but I don't my thing is I don't want to put like shit episodes out. Like who wants to, you know what I mean? Like it's such a blessing, and I know I don't tell you guys enough. Like I do appreciate everybody. Like I appreciate the fuck out of everybody that watches the podcast, cuz I do understand like our episodes could get like 1 or 2 views and they could both be my views. But the fact that anytime I drop a video, it's a couple hundred views every time, I'm like, there's no way in hell. Because again, there's thousands, there's hundreds of thousands of episodes out there. There's a lot of podcasts out there. And it's just like, my God, like, I think that statistic has a lot to do with why a lot of people don't get views and stuff. See, my thing is I could give 2 fucks about views. I just get on here to talk and yap and just have my little shower thoughts and all that stuff. And I always tell people Purgatory Club is like it's an occult before anything. Like the podcast is like it came out of Purgatory Club because a lot of us just have these shower thoughts that I always have in my head. A lot of us have these thoughts like what happens after death? What's our purpose while we're here alive? You know what I mean? And like with consciousness and NHI and the paranormal and ghosts and the universe and magic, all of these topics tie together. And I think if you just wrap all of that shit in like a nice spooky ass matte black bundle and put a little bow on it, that's what's Purgatory Club. Like that would be the best way I can explain it. You know what I mean? Like I'm not in it for the views. Like I'm not in it for anything other than just wanting answers. Because I do believe in our lifetimes we're gonna get a lot of answers to all these questions. And that's fun, right? Like it's such a blessing. Like all my favorite paranormal investigators, it's cool when you get to know them like on a deeper level. When you get to like talk to them and find out what makes them tick and why they do the things that they do. Like it's all for a purpose, for like a higher purpose. It's like the same ethical way of like science, right? Like science is cool as fuck because it's just ways to continuously make progress in the world and to move us forward, not take us back. And I think with this spooky shit, a lot of those same traits that are in science like go hand in hand with the paranormal and all these other things. Like we just want to move forward. We want to just find out shit. But we want to find out the things that people don't really like to talk about. And for whatever reason they don't want to talk about it. Like we're all as soon as we're all born, we're already dying. We're all gonna die one day. So it's perfectly natural to question what happens after that. Like we're gonna figure it out. But yeah, like I said, I filmed this episode the other day and the file got fucked. Like I think me and him filmed for like an hour and a half, and then I think I only had like 7 or 8 minutes of usable footage, and then the rest of the audio for it was just shit. So, but it's all good. We're just gonna refilm, and we're gonna do a different one today. We're gonna do UAP and NHI because I've been doing a lot of research on the topic, and it's so interesting. Like whenever you hear government officials being like doing the whole, well, like they're acting dumb pretty much. They're like, well, we don't have aliens here, and we don't have this, and we don't have that Area 51. Like it can be all construed as like bullshit, but at the same time, if you listen to the words, like extraterrestrial means extra earth, like as in meaning like the earth is bigger than what they think it is, right? So just if you guys ever like listen to how these people speak and talk and all these things like that, like you'll see that they say shit that just kind of, they're not saying no, but they're also not saying yes. And I was watching a podcast the other day, and it was about this guy who was talking to a bunch of physicists and scientists about pretty much being like, hey, well, do you guys have any NHI, like as in non-human intelligence? That's kind of like what the new word is for like ETs, pretty much is NHI. And the new word for like UFO would be UAP, because like UFO is unidentified flying object. So it's just a thing in the sky that they never knew what it was. So they just called it a UFO. And a UAP is, and I finally, it clicked with me the other day, and that's part of the reason why I'm filming this one today, because I just want to get this out there and educate the masses, to anybody that wants to care to listen. The difference between a UFO, an unidentified flying object, and a UAP, uh, unidentified, what is it? Unidentified aerial phenomena. The difference there is it's it's very telling when you see scientists and people in the government and the military using UAP now, because that UAP could be anything in the sky that they can't explain. UAP can be a orb in the sky. See, a flying object isn't gonna be an orb. A phenomena, like something that some shit up there that they just can't explain, that would be unidentified aerial phenomenon. And that opens a whole like other bucket of shit that can get real deep real quick. Because those have to do with like consciousness and the universe, and the fact that every human has consciousness, and the skies aren't top secret. So that's why the government's kind of changing their tune on a lot of these things, and all these whistleblowers are coming out like lately. It's so interesting. Like if you just watch how people move, like if you just watch how shit is going, it's super interesting, because like you'll see a lot of people changing their tune. It used to be UFO, and they could just kind of keep it under wraps and be like, well, yeah, we don't have any UFOs here, which could be true. Like both can be true. Yeah, they don't have any UFOs here, which the general public is gonna think, yeah, a spaceship, like a ET, like an alien spaceship, right? But then they also could be like, well, we also don't have any UAP. And there's like a difference there. There's a pretty stark difference. And there's one that I want to get into today. There's this company called Skywatchers, and they've been doing a lot of research into like UAP. And they've kind of figured out a way with like different ways of meditation and all these things to be able to, because again, the skies aren't top secret. The government can lie all they fucking want, and they can not tell us all we want, but they don't have a monopoly on it. Nobody's got a monopoly on it. And that's kind of where I think the change in tune is coming from. So Skywatchers is this new company that came out a few months ago with Jake Barber and a couple other people, astrophysicists, physicists, just super smart people, and a couple military people. And here I've got the definition of or what their thing is. Skywatchers is a private technology company, and they've been around for about 5 years. So all of this is pretty fucking new. Like for the last Project Stargate was the last time the military and anybody credible, like scientists, physicists, astrophysicists, people took this shit seriously, and that ended in 1996. So there was a long gap from 1996 until literally Jake Barber came out with his whistleblower story like 6 months ago. If that, it was probably closer to 4 to 6 months ago. And when he came out with his interview, that just kind of set the timeline for me and made sense for me. I'm like, damn, since 1996, literally until like the start of 2025, because it was like around January, so about 6 months ago. The start of 2025 is when his episode with Ross Coldheart came out, and it got seen by everybody in the world, and he said a lot of outlandish things. But that interview was like, it was crazy to me because Jake Barber is one of the founders of Skywatchers, and he figured out he used to be a contractor for the government. And his story was so important for him to come out when he did because everything, like the dots are starting to connect, right? Like the math is starting to finally math for a lot of people. Like to say that there's like there's starting to be a worldwide like awakening to this shit is like an understatement, pretty much. A lot of people were coming to their senses, and a lot of people are coming to the realization like, damn, this shit is real. Like UFOs are like a thing of the 80s and the 90s. Like I said, it ended in 96. The new thing is unidentified aerial phenomena, and it's not just like a solid spacecraft up there. It could be like an orb. And even in my case, I've seen it. You know what I mean? That's why I go so hard for it, because I'm like, if somebody like me can summon these things like with meditation, and that's why I noticed the link between spirituality, ghost hunting, like paranormal investigations, and NHI or like alien type of thing. There's a link there. Same way that a magician, or not a magician, like a witch would do a ritual to summon like spirit and get a deity or whatever to do tasks for them. That's all on the spirit realm. But the same way that they do these rituals is the same way that Jake Barber and a lot of these other people in Skywatchers are using real psychic methods that even the government has used, and it's tried and tested and proven to work to bring NHI here. And like I said, I did it. I did it last Christmas, and it worked. I seen it. So imagine trying to summon a spirit like a ghost, but you get something physical. That's what Skywatchers is doing pretty much. Like it completely connected the two worlds for me, and I'm just like, this is actually crazy. Like it's one thing to paranormal investigate and to talk to spirit that you can't see. Like spirit is pretty much like the Wi-Fi. You know the Wi-Fi is there. You turn it on, you turn it off, but you know it's there. But you can never see it. It's like the wind. But to do the same kind of ritual to get NHI to bring an alien spacecraft here is crazy. And that's what Skywatchers is doing. And it's gonna be crazy because that's like the first real private aerospace company they're calling it a technology company because they don't even have the science behind it. Like it's still, and again, nope, they don't, they're the first one, but they don't even have a monopoly on it. No, it's one of those things that nobody can ever have a monopoly on it. And that's why it's so beautiful because the skies aren't top secret. Anybody can go out and see these things. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's crazy. So yeah, Skywatchers is a private technology company founded by former military and intelligence professionals. The importance of UFO whistleblower Jake Barber coming out with his story, putting together Skywatcher. Like I said, there was that gap between about 1996 and now, like up until like literally the last like fucking 6 months, honestly. Hold on, let me scratch these out so I don't get confused. These are the thoughts that go through my head when I take a shower because this shit is crazy. Okay, we already covered what is UAP, unidentified aerial phenomena. Yeah, it's just a more broad term for a UFO pretty much. A UFO is just an object up there that's like a solid object that you can see, that you could tap on. It's an object. It's damn near like a plane. Like UAP up there is, and I'm not even gonna keep saying unidentified aerial phenomenon. Like that's a tongue twister in itself. But UAP is just a more broad term for that because anything can be a UAP. It's just a phenomena up there that you can't explain. And even Skywatcher, we'll get into this part here in a little bit, but they're studying this and they're saying that there's like at least nine. They're saying nine between 9 and like 30 different types of UAP that they could go out there and see. Like there's the Tic Tac one, there's all these different things, and these are UAP. Again, these are things that are connected to consciousness, to the universe, that we have consciousness and it's a universal thing. Everybody's got a brain, everybody's got bones, but it's one of those universal things. Like if one person can do it, that means everybody can do it. It's just you got to figure out how. My bad, fam. Just checking the camera. So, why NHI? Why consciousness? Like, why should we look into these things? Like I said, like I said earlier, I think it's all connected. Like, especially the practice of just looking into these things and the practice of summoning these NHI to come here. Because again, that's what Skywatcher's doing. That's what a lot of these companies are doing there. They're like they're the front runners for being the first ones to be able to put a method together to be able to bring us these NHI the same way that a paranormal investigator would go into a haunted house and do an investigation and call upon spirit. It's crazy. I know it sounds crazy, but I'm like 99.3% sure that it's all connected. That's pretty damn high. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's all connected. But I think, like I said, in our lifetimes, for sure, we're going to get these answers. And I'm super excited to get these answers because, like I said, from 1996 until now, there was about 20 years, or that's almost 30 years. 96 to 2000, that's 4 years. 2000 to 25 is so about 29 years. That's crazy. The last 29 years, almost 30 years. I'm 26. I haven't even been on this earth 20 or 29 years yet. That's how long this topic is laid dormant, and we've gotten no answers, and we've gotten no accountability, and we've gotten nothing from the government, nothing from science. Like anytime people try to look into these things, they get shut down and told that they're crazy. So I think that's the answer to my why. Why am I looking so much into this? Why am I almost obsessing over NHI and consciousness and spirituality and the link that they all have between each other? It's crazy. It's crazy to normal people, but to me, it's not so crazy. I love it. I love all this shit. But the more that we ask questions, the more that just kind of step takes a step forward to getting answers and to get us the things that we all want to know. You know what I mean? Like, I would really hate for us to all be like up there in age and we still don't have any answers because nobody had the balls to ask. That would be annoying as fuck. I ain't even gonna lie. That would be so annoying. So let's just be the ones to ask, you know? If you've got any kind of platform at all, like ask a question. Let's figure this shit out because it's complicated, but it ain't like, you know the saying, it ain't rocket science. This might literally be rocket science and astrophysics and philosophy and all the craziest things in the world, but we can figure it out. All we got to do is just put our little brains together and ask some deep questions. I'm sure a lot of people have these questions. And I'll challenge anybody that has any question relating to NHI, UAP, paranormal, spirituality, occult stuff having to do with magic and rituals. If you have any kind of question, like a deep question, like you want to get into it, put it in the comment section. Like ask a question, you know what I mean? Cuz there's so many questions that can get so deep like super quick and there's like a rabbit hole and it's like even having to do with UFOs. It used to, like I said in 1996 it used to be one lane UFOs and that was the only lane. And now it's NHI UFOs. There's so many there's it's like splintering off already. Now it's consciousness is having to do with that. There's a lot of reports that a lot of these NHI and everything, these spacecraft that they're seeing up there, nobody's even in them. They're saying that the craft itself is literally controlled by consciousness. Consciousness from and that's how we're able to bring them here. If that can like make sense to you. So like I said, the same way that we would walk into a haunted house and use ourselves as like a medium. And that's why I also say mediums are in everybody. Because if one person can do it, we can all do this, where we can all be used as a medium. So in this instance, you would be used as a medium to summon NHI and bring them here. And there are so many different reports of people doing this and it actually working. Like I said, I done it. Like I did it. Bad. That's horrible English for a podcast. I done it. But I did it last Christmas. I did it and it worked and it came and it showed itself to me. Do I live in the desert? Yeah. But it's the same like techniques and philosophy and ways of using like a ritual and these things to like get a ghost or a spirit to talk to you. It's the same way that we would use those same techniques to meditate and to practice and to get these NHI to show themselves to us because they can and they will. Like I said, a lot of these spaceships and these craft, these NHI that are up there, a lot of them are controlled by consciousness. So if you think about it in that way, okay, you can connect to NHI with consciousness. So meditation, through meditation, there's certain types of meditation like CE5 meditation by David Greer. He's like one of the forerunners on that. And he's written books. He has an app now. And if you want to look into meditating and connecting with NHI and other things, that's like one of the main guys to look at and watch his interviews, watch his podcast, watch anything he's written about and published. But like I said, you just gotta, from how I make it make sense for me is I spend a lot of time watching paranormal investigations, like just spooky shit intrigues me. So that's how I make it make sense to me is literally, I'm like, okay, the same tactics and techniques that people use to summon ghosts in a house and to get them to talk to them and to show up on Spirit Talker and move shit around is the same exact way that you would use to get NHI to show itself to you. And like, it's crazy. I know it sounds crazy, but it ain't that crazy if you can actually do it. And then, like I said, it keeps splintering off. That's just UFO to NHI to consciousness to the universe to all of us figuring out that we all have psychic abilities to be able to summon them. Like once that becomes like a universal norm for every person on this earth that yeah, we can all do this. We can all summon NHI. We can all bring them here. Everybody has that psychic ability. Everybody has a consciousness, right? We've all got bones, we've all got a brain. Like we should use it, you know what I mean? Like we keep limiting ourselves and that's the part that annoys me. Like we keep for all this time we've just limited ourselves and just the government would be like, "No, you guys can't do that. That's not real. That's taboo. That's this or that's that, like whatever." It's because, like I said earlier, they don't have a monopoly on things. The skies aren't fucking top secret. Anybody can go out there and look into the sky and see these things and get their proof like on their own. So, like I said, this last since January 2025, I've been noticing a lot of people having that awakening and having that spiritual, because it is like a spiritual awakening. It has to do with NHI and UFOs, but it's like a universal awakening that it's like, damn, everybody is a psychic. Because, like I said, it keeps splintering off UFO to NHI to consciousness to the universe to everybody realizing that everybody's a psychic and proving that with like remote viewing and all of these things and clairvoyance. It's like a worldwide spiritual awakening that's happening right now, and I'm so glad to be a part of it because it's like I'm having mine right in front of everybody. It's crazy. A year ago, I would have been like the biggest, and I was the biggest non-believer and skeptic in all of this shit. But it's like, again, I had my awakening. I realized I can do it. So I'm like, damn, if somebody like me can do it, fucking anybody can do it, honestly. And it's that's just the best way I can explain it is like a spiritual awakening. But me, it's just me coming to the understanding that one, the math is mathin'. Everybody can do it. Everybody's got a consciousness. There's a statistic out there, and I have braces, so I hate saying that word because like the S is like this. Like I hate that shit. But there's a statistic out there that like 43% of Americans don't have internal dialogue, meaning they're like NPCs or something. Like they just don't have thoughts in their head. And I'm like, that's crazy. But I'm like, everybody's got a consciousness. Everybody's got intentions in their brain. Everybody's got I thought most people had thoughts in their brain, but apparently a lot of people don't. But there's like you got to compartmentalize it, right? And I'm glad I've been in the occult and being able to see the other side, like look behind the curtain. Cuz for in order for magic to work, it goes your intention to your thought, and then your thought is what makes the words that you end up uttering to make the spell or whatever that you want to happen, right? Like there's a way. Tried, true, and trust like a tested way that's been working for hundreds of years, like way before I was even here and figuring this shit out. So I'm like, okay, people don't have internal dialogue. Some people don't, at least like half of America apparently. But that's fine. Everybody's got a consciousness. Everybody can still do this. It don't matter if you have thoughts in your head. I have too much thoughts in my head. That's my problem. It's the intention. The same way that you're in an occult and you want magic to work. You're doing a ritual, you're doing your spell, and you want your spell to work. You set your intention and you either say out loud, you put it out there of what you want to happen. That's just like the basic premise of magic, pretty much. Whether it be making a spell, a potion, whatever. That's just like the bare bones like minimum of it. It's literally the same thing of how if you wanted to summon NHI here and to get them to like bring their ass here and like, but instead of, like I said, instead of it being in a haunted house or something spooky like that, and them being like the Wi-Fi, like some shit that you can't see, they're literally coming here like in the flesh. And the craft that they're coming in is controlled by consciousness. That's how we're able to connect to them and bring them here. So it's so fascinating to me seeing that worldwide spiritual awakening that a lot of people are going through. Like, it's so fascinating to be a part of this journey with a lot of people that are also on it, and to see the astrophysicists and the scientists finally stop denying like what everybody knows. Like, the government can lie to us all the time and be like, yeah, we don't have this or we don't have that at Area 51, but it's like I said, the skies aren't top secret. Anybody can go out there and get their own evidence and find out for themselves. Nobody's got a monopoly on these things. Anybody that is just like me in human form, that has a consciousness, can go out there and summon NHI. They just got to figure out how to do it. I literally did it on damn near my first try, not even thinking that it would work. I think I did C5 meditation like a couple times for about 7 days, for about a week. And then sure enough, after that week, for about another week straight, it showed itself to me. And I've got it on video and it's crazy. So that's why I'm a believer. I'm like nobody. I'm like, if somebody like me can do it, anybody can do it. Like, it's crazy. So I know a lot of this sounds crazy, but that's just how it makes sense to me. It makes sense to me because I see each part as its own separate entity, but it all being connected in some weird way. Again, the occult, like as in doing magic and doing all of that stuff, spirituality, the universe, the paranormal, as in like methods and ways to talk to spirit and ghosts, and NHI and UFOs. All of these five things are extremely connected, and the more we do research and the more we ask questions, and is what I think the quicker way we're going to get to answers. But I don't think it should be something that should be done overnight. I think spend our whole life studying this shit. Like, let's figure it out, but like, let's figure it out. You know what I mean? So, again, I know all this sounds crazy. I know it all sounds weird, but we're going to get answers. And I'm like 99.3 or 4% sure that it's going to happen in our lifetimes. It's just, what part of history do you want to be on? Do you know what I mean? Do you want to be a denier your whole life and be like, "Nah, that's bullshit." It's all good. This We're not in this to convince anybody. It's just, you can't convince anybody to have a spiritual awakening. It's something that the math has to math for them. That's what made me such a believer. It happened with me. I'm like, damn, I can do it. Anybody can do it, right? It's just some people are just so like oblivious to it. They'll have all these signs in their life happening and they'll still be like, well, and I saw a ghost today, but it was probably just my hair in my face. Like, that's crazy to me. You know what I mean? They can have all the signs. The universe can be throwing all these signs at you and you still just be denying everything. And those people are always going to be there. But I'd rather just be on the side of things where we're doing the research, we're talking about it, we're asking the questions that need to be asked, holding the people accountable that need to be held accountable, and just finding answers. I realize it's probably going to take our whole lifetimes. But at the end of that, like, if before we all pass away in like 70 years, 70, 80 years, say we all live to like 90, 100, whatever. If by the end of that, we all get answers and we're all like, damn, I was fucking right. Like, that would be cool. I ain't gonna lie. We'd be all listening to like early 2000s jams. Like, that would be crazy. You know what I mean? So it's just, we just gotta all buckle up and all like accept and acknowledge that, yeah, it's probably gonna take a while. But also have that understanding that one, the skies aren't top secret. The paranormal isn't top secret. All of these things that we're asking, none of this shit, nobody has a monopoly on. There's probably people out there that wish they could have a monopoly on it just so they can monetize it and make a shit ton of money. But all of these main big questions that we have, nobody's got a monopoly on it. Anybody can go out and find their research and find out for themselves. Like, again, we're not in it to convince nobody of nothing. Like, it's just, we're pointing out the obvious. And it would be really cool if other people like got to see that. Yeah, of course. But again, we're not in it to convince nobody. So, like I said, these are my episode 10 Purgatory Club shower thoughts, or whatever you want to call it. I wanted to get an episode out, so my weird way of thinking is gonna spew into this one, but it's all good. I just want everybody to know that's how the maths to me, right? That's how it makes sense to me. All those 5 things that I mentioned earlier, they're all connected. We just got to figure out how. We got to figure out why. It's the old way of thinking is just we're born and then we die. Like, that's so boring. Let's ask what really matters. Like, we're here for a reason. Let's find out why. So, with that being said, episode 10, the Purgatory Club podcast. I know I don't say it enough. I appreciate everybody that watches our videos. You guys are amazing. Absolutely amazing. I love you guys. Get out there and drink some water, touch some grass. And like I said, me and my buddy, we're going to film again. His episode will probably come out as episode 11 or 12 if I don't get on here and have another one of these shower thoughts. But get out there, make somebody else's day, do some good in the world. ask some deep questions, because it's okay. It's okay to get deep every once in a while. That way of thinking like, oh, getting deep is taboo and annoying. Like, fuck that. Like, ask the questions you want to ask. And more importantly, find the answers to what you want to know. We've got one life. You might as well live it. This is episode 10, the Purgatory Club podcast. I hope everybody has an amazing rest of their week going into the weekend. Again, touch some grass, drink some water, make somebody else's day. I will see you guys on the next one.